Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple N Media. I am NIK NIKAM. In this presentation, I am going to walk you through an entire sequence of flight planning and ILS landing at Houston Hobby Airport. So let us start with the flight planning first. I'm going to start off at KSGR, which is Sugarland Regional Airport, which is my hometown, and we're going to select the runway 17, and I'll explain to you why I am selecting runway 17, and all of these things make a difference. I'm going to go to KHOU, which is William P. Hobby Airport. So here is the simple plan, but we need more than this to have an ILS landing. As you can see here, it says VFR Direct GPS. We click on this, then go to IFR Low Altitude Airways. So it's going to use both combination of GPS in the beginning and then ILF track. So when we do this part, now we got extra boxes. We don't need to do anything here. We have to go to here and say ILS runway number 4. So once you do that, all of a sudden the flight plan changes. So even before you get off the ground, the track is already laid out. It's like railroad track or a highway. So here you come, here's the next point, which is GEEO. This is cargo, LRUN, SA, and hobby. We're going to say, and we can change flight conditions if you like, because it's in the night, but I set it to like 3 p.m. with the previous setup. So we're just going to use that one. We're going to close this and we say, okay, let's fly. While this is loading, I want to show you this ILS for landing nav map, which the first thing we need to focus is the ILS navigational one frequency, which is 109.9, and the approach angle is going to be 41 degrees, but in the program in Microsoft Flight Simulator it says 44 degrees, which is fine, and these are the altitudes we have to keep in mind. So when we come to LRUN, it has to be 2000. It's better to write it down on a sheet of paper or print this paper and put it on the side of your computer monitor so that you will have that ready-made so that it matches with, because the ILS program is supposed to automatically make these changes. If it doesn't, then you have to keep note of how many nautical miles you have to travel and when it changes to a particular height and how the glide path is and how and where it lands. There are also speeds given here for different landings, so keep this in mind. So we are here at the airport. Before we go to let's start at the airport here, and I will walk you through some things that we need to pay attention to. It's not giving me this one yet. So, okay, here are some of the things we can pay attention to. For example, we can look at the Nav Log. If you want to look at the navigational log, it shows here, and that's not what we want to focus on. And this is where travel. It goes from the runway to the peak, which is at 6,000 feet, 4,000 feet, 2,000, 1,500, and touchdown. So those are some of the things you have to get from this AirNav website for the runway and the airport you're looking at where you want to land. And write down or keep this copy on the side on the second monitor so you can exactly see what is happening. Okay, let's take off this one. And if you don't see this map, you can come here and turn on this VFR map. If you turn off that, and this is a good way to keep track of this, you can reduce this by rolling the ball. You see all these different points in this one, and this is where you can make some adjustments to ATC, and if you want the lady to come and bug you and all these kinds of stuff. Anyway, that's outside on the menu, and let us focus here. To see inside the cockpit, you press Control 1, And here are some of the things that we need to do. First of all, this heading is set to 172, and I would press heading. First of all, we changed the nav1 to 109.90 and make that the active channel. If you want to change, you can change this one too. If you press here to go to the bottom, and then change this one to as a backup 109, and then move here. So this is your navigational radio 1090. I also wanted to pay attention here, something going to show up. We say we want this to be like 41 to 44 degrees, which I will show you in the flight plan in a second. 42 degrees, and press, that's VOR1. So that is going to go away, but that's all right. And I'll just press the right arrow to look at this monitor. If you look at the flight plan here, FPL, and we have all these different stations here. This is 9 nautical miles, and this one is 177, 195, 44, 44, 44. This is a straight route here. So this an extra one comes here. I need to find out how to get rid of this one, because from Sugarland we should be going straight to GEEEO. And let's come back here and see if we can heading. Okay, now I press the heading. Now it automatically changed it to this location, and it is okay. We are ready to get head started and then proceed. So let's get the engine going here. Full throttle, release brake, and take off. Well, we are climbing to an altitude of well, this is a flight from Sugarland to Hobby Airport in Houston, Texas, which is approximately like 14 nautical miles. I just took off using the GPS guided map here, and we will be using the ILS landing here at the Houston Hobby Airport if things go correctly. Let's see how it's, so far it's tracking this one. It's been taking me like several weeks to get this on the line here. Right now it is GPS. If I get inside the cockpit here, that is our navigation localization 1, and once we cross this line, the entire thing is the ILS track. So let's see if we will be able to follow the ILS tracking so that we will be able to proceed. And we're still climbing. I may have to go up on this one a little faster. See how it goes so far. We got 6,000 miles, then I think we're coming down to 4,000 feet after that, maintaining a speed of 96 nautical miles per hour, and we are cruising towards 171 degrees to the south. It is going off track. It maybe is trying to meet this line at the Greco, I think. I don't know, I can't see it. Anyway, this is the best I've gotten so far, and let's see what happens. Why are my flaps down here? Should be much better here. And 2 more nautical miles, then it's going to tell me to change the speed to 4,000 feet. So we will close to, so there it is, 9.36 nautical miles going this way, which is the longer path. Let's minimize this a little bit. So this is the entire ILS path. Let's see how it's doing. It's supposed to be making a turn. It should have made a turn quite some time ago. Right now, let's see where we are, which way we are going here. Our this one was reset to CDI localization 1. That's what we need, and we say approach which is supposed, so now it's making a turn, so that's pretty good. As you can see, it's making a turn. Now this line is in magenta color, so hopefully we are in the right direction. We will see. At this time I can bring down the mixture a little bit, so we get a little better speed. That's what I saw in one of the pictures. So you see, it gives a little more power. Right, so we are in straight line. This is 4,000 feet now. We are at 4,000 feet. Everything should be automatically handled by the ILS landing approach. Let's make sure our radio frequency is correctly set, 109.0. While it's playing, I want to show you, I don't know if I have this one open, the PDF file. Okay, this is the ILF roadmap runway to runway 4 in Hobby. The radio frequency is 109.9, and here it says 41 degrees, whereas the program says 44 degrees, and it's constantly changing. We'll see what happens. And what happens right now, it is supposed to be at 42 degrees, and after this it is going to, this is 44 degrees. So it should automatically switch over to 44 degrees, and I'm hoping. So we got a speed of 125 nautical miles, which means I can bring down the throttle a little bit, so keep it at around 110 nautical miles. As you can see, it's moving, and you hear the sound come down a little bit. And let's see if you are, every time I had to press this one. So again, this is going off track. It's hard to say Houston Southwest, which is the airport, but anyway, we still have some ways to go, and this is the place where it has to make a turn, since we are already in the ILS mode, and we are in the frequency 109.90 I Hobby Airport. That's good. We have 110 nautical miles. Let me show you something else here. As you can see, these two things are a little bit off. I think it may be because it's a smaller, this is bigger, but anyway, nonetheless, there's one more thing I want to say. If you look at the flight plan, it starts off with 358 degrees. That's runway 35, but I took runway 17, which is the opposite, and somehow it stays there. Maybe somebody watching this can help me how to get rid of this user setup, because we started going south, which is a straight path to this GEO, whatever that is, EO. So now it is making a smooth turn to come on this line. So we are passing this GEO 177 degrees, and next it will go to 95 degrees. And even though these are sharp angles, the plane has to take a smoother curve, and that's why it is deviating from the path. But once it joins this line, it has to be 44 degrees all the way to the runway 4. I hope this works out. So there, now we have to bring it down to 2,000 feet once we reach this level. That's what it's telling us. So far we are okay. Once we get to this point, it doesn't say what point is this. We still have like 7 nautical miles. And we can bring down the power, which is just a little bit, I think this is pretty good, 110 miles. We'll keep it at that. And this 2,000 feet is, as you can see, it's making a turn. That's why I said it may not go sharp right angle or sharp angle. It makes a smooth turn, and now this should turn into magenta in a few seconds. And we are 5.32 nautical miles from this particular point. Now it is automatically changing the altitude to reach 2,000 feet as it approaches this point. I wish it had labeled these points. The next point should be Elron, E-L-R-E-N. The altitude is coming down. That means it is on the ILS pathway. As you can see, now we have a straight line to the runway. Perfectly straight line. A few degrees off, that's because of adjustments during the course of this preparation for landing. So it should be making 2,000 feet automatically by itself. Let's hope. We will find out. As we come down, the speed goes up. So we just reduce the throttle just by 100, 200 rotations, as you can see here. And that will bring the speed down to 110 miles, which would be a good place for us to stay. So this is like microscopic management of the flight from minute to minute. So the altitude is nicely matching what is required. The runway is 6,000 feet, so I think this is the runway. Now I think it is localized the runway. It is able to localize the speed. Could come down 1,500 feet. It's supposed to come down a little bit faster. So let us see what we can do. It's coming down. Now the glide path is slowly moving up, which is a good indication. And we are just approaching ELREN. And after that it would be HU. After that it will be runway 423. And this is 1,500 feet at this level. And we should be at 1,500 feet as expected. So this is the ILS path to runway 4 at Hobby Airport in southwest Houston. Let's cut down the speed some more, 22,000 rotations. That's good. So we are approaching like as it is automatically doing the altitude and the direction, and all we have to control would be the throttle and also the speed which go together. And we can see from inside here, it's kind of hard to see because the lights is not best. Okay, it's approaching 15,000 feet as the program says. The main thing is the plane is in direct. Let me control 1 will bring the main. So this is in straight line to the runway. It's somewhere between 40 to 44 degrees. So when we approach, we take off the autopilot and try to land it. That's the plan. So this flight director is in line with the flight path, and the speed is okay, 1,400 feet. We are approaching slowly the airport. Now here is the airport, Hobby Airport, so we are doing fine. So we can cut down the throttle some more, 1,500 feet. So we are supposed to be at 1,500 feet, so I would 1,100 feet. I think we may be coming short on the height here. Let us see what we need to do. Cut down the speed some more. It's 1,000 feet, so I think we may be running short here. It says it's too fast, so that means we have to cut down some more and give flap 1 here, so it will slow down the speed. We are 800 feet, and we have to cut down the speed some more. And we can give 500 feet. Now we give flap number 2. Come down some more with this one to 60, 70. We are close to 500 feet. There's a runway, we can see. Come down some more with the throttle to 80 nautical miles. 500 feet, flap 3 and flap 2. We are approaching pretty good. we have to come down on the flap. I just wait till 60. Let's keep it a little bit more speed, a little more throttle, because we need to keep it above 60, 500, 300 feet. So what we do is a little more throttle here. Keep it 64 is good, and I just wait for the throttle flap 3, and we're going to bring the 200 more feet. Keep going. We're going to take the autopilot off. Honestly, this is my first successful ILS landing. I feel so excited. I tell you, I've been trying this for almost a couple of months now. I hope you were able to learn something from this. As I said, I will continue to learn with each experiment. The important thing I want to mention is when it says 300, 500 feet, you have to realize the ground level is 50 feet from the sea. So that's something you always have to keep in mind when you are close to landing, so that you don't underestimate the height. When it says 300 feet, you don't have 300 feet. All you have is 250 feet. Or if it says 100 feet, all you got is 50 feet. That means you have to make sure that you are on the runway before anything else changes. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. This has been my first successful landing. I am really excited, and hopefully it will bring more interest in me to continue to learn more about the Cessna 172 G1000 and learn the ILS landing. As you can see, it landed at 39 degrees, and the angle is actually 42 degrees. So between 40 and 44 degrees, I don't think it makes a big difference. As far as the plane is concerned, our flaps were all the way down. The height is 50 ground level. And thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.